From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Oh wow. I should have been on air, but now I'm on air. I thought we were already here, but what's going on, world? It is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase and the man himself, sports agent aficionado, radio aficionado, none other than the legendary Mike Abadir. You guys got to understand, Mike is a absolute Northern California, Central California legend. You know, this guy's more popular than the Diaz brothers. Don't ever get it twisted.
That's Mike's too kind of an intro, man. That's too
Mike's
kind.
so popular. We went to a boxing match years ago. It was a few years ago, pandemic time and all that stuff. And Mike had helped me out, and he had some business partners and helped me get some good sponsorships going for boxers and everything like that. And we were hanging out. It was in Carson, Louis Neary versus Brandon Figueroa that night. Right. We had Louis Neary as our sponsoree and everything like that. And it was so funny because it was crazy. Louis was being a little difficult. And it was funny because Louis was supposed to go out with all the 100X stuff on and blase. And it didn't happen. So then we had to have him go over and have a whole photo shoot after the fact because the guy was just like kind of insane, and it was hilarious because it's like the CEOs are coming back to us. Why is this guy hitting me up? I thought we weren't supposed to talk to him. It was so funny.
Right.
But the story I'm trying to say is Mike, me and Mike meet up. We got tickets ringside. We're chilling. He got these two beautiful ladies with him and everything like that. And me and Mike, we're chilling. We're cooling. And like three people run up on Mike, and it's some brothers. And it's like, "Oh, Mike, you okay?" He's like, No. I know these guys. Don't worry about it." And they started talking. I'm like, "Damn, Mike's really in the streets like this. Damn." So, I just want to tell that funny story real quick. So don't be trying to test Mike Abadir in them streets, boy. That's all I can tell you. So last night, man, NFL, TNF, we talked about it on our show yesterday about the NFL dropping the ball on these national games. There was no way that you put the Panthers and the Bears as a national game. There was no way either one of these teams were going to be good this season. We knew that going into the season. I know what they were selling. They were selling Bryce Young versus Justin Fields. That game did not happen. Do you think the NFL needs to stop, prearranging some of these games and get back to how we used to schedule games with teams? Where, if you're the best of the best, if you pass the Q test, you're on national television. If you don't, you're just not. There was a long stretch in time where the Jacksonville Jaguars weren't even on, couldn't even think about being on a national television situation until they started doing Thursday night football. So your thoughts on that?
We're almost accustomed to bad matchups on Thursday night. It's almost like we can't take a good matchup away from CBS and Fox. So we're going to have to, on Thursday night, put whoever we can slot in there, and it's usually a shit game. You know what I mean? The problem is this. I think it's hard to have a flex schedule with Thursday night games because it's easier on Sunday to go from 10 a.m. to I'm still here from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time, as an example, right? It's easier to do that than it is to switch from Sunday to Thursday, is kind of the point that I'm trying to make. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I think that's the challenge with the whole flex thing. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and I just feel
as
like
a ticket holder, hey, I had planned on going on Sunday. Now you're asking me to come on Thursday. I can't. It's a school night for the kids, or I got a late meeting, or whatever. You know what I mean? So it poses some difficulty. But ultimately speaking, Thursday night is kind of weak. I'd love to see Amazon's ratings on that. And ultimately, if we see that it goes back to the NFL Network, then we know it didn't pan out.
Right. Well, I look at it in a sense, and I say that, we got to be better when we do this now. You know what I mean? Because it's NFL is so popular, so big. And you got a good point, Mike. Thursday nights were regulated for everybody gets a turn to be on national television. Now, Amazon, after not having the best of games last year, they bought good games this year. And then they bought games that they could sell. And this was a game they felt they could sell. And really, it's really luckily enough that it's the Chicago market. So the Chicago market is going to be buzzing about the game. It doesn't matter how bad the Bears are. They're still going to get a buzz about the game. But the Carolina Panthers are not a national television team right now. They're just not. Just keep their asses off there. I know you have Bryce.
I don't even know if the Bears are without Justin Fields.
No, not at all. And that's what just really makes it funny to me. But it's okay that we had that game. What were your thoughts on the game? And just like the caption says, Bears win a 16-13 snoozer as low versus lowly Panthers on TNF. Is Bryce Young the problem, or is it the roster?
I'm gonna be really straight up with you, man. I didn't watch the game.
Okay.
I literally did not watch the game. What I did is I ran errands and not watch the game because I was like, this is just a bunk matchup, man.
All right. Well, you know what? This is what I'm going to do then, Mike. I'll break it down real quick. I'll give my 2 cents on it. I will tell you this. I thought the game was an absolute snoozer. It was an absolute sleeper, sleeping, you know what I mean? And I think that the game was really, really irrelevant towards the grand scheme of things in the NFL. Let's keep it real. This is just about how we're going to settle draft picks. This is really how what pretty much was the storyline for this game. And I will say that Bryce Young is not the problem. I will say that what happens in this situation is that Carolina is a team that has to build from the ground up. And what they did was, instead of getting the foundation, a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, somebody that can be stagnant and stay. And then just go get Andy Dalton to be your quarterback for the year, and then get ready to draft Drake May next season. So then you can have the Carolina kid play for the Carolina team. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? No, they got trigger happy. They went after Bryce Young, who was seen as the best quarterback in the draft, the best leader in the draft, to build their franchise behind, to put him as the face of the franchise. People have to understand Bryce Young came into this season with no expectations from the Carolina Panthers. Their idea is just to go ahead and build this thing up. Don't be that good, and get us some more top 5 picks so then we can line this team up. And we're looking at it kind of like how the Bengals did, where let's see what we can do from here. You know what I mean? We'll get the quarterback first, and then we'll think about everything else down the road. And that's the position that they're in. But it really happened because they hired the wrong coach. Frank Reich was a coach that pretty much was seen as an invalid, and he was seen as a guy that was just really not cut out to be a head coach in the NFL. You never rehire a coach that gets fired in the middle of the season. I just think that's the worst idea that you can possibly have. I know that Ron Rivera was able to be fortunate enough to where he got rehired, but Ron Rivera has a Super Bowl on the resume. Frank Reich does not have a Super Bowl on his resume. except for when he was a player. So, and when he was assisting the Eagles, but as a head coach, no. Ron Rivera has a Super Bowl, so he can go ahead and have that type of, that type of edge to him. But all in all, though, you still have a guy in Reich that really just isn't cut out to be the guy. And they were already having a big commotion about him calling the plays. And so I truly do feel that Bryce is really a very great talent. But the thing is, though, you don't want to destroy this talent too early. And they're getting to that point. And last night was proof in the pudding. The Bears are one of the worst teams when it comes to sacks, and they had 3 last night. That just goes to show you where you need to go get your improvement at. Everybody knew that the Carolina Panthers needed to draft linemen. They didn't need a quarterback, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Mike, any quick thoughts about that before we move on?
No, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're going to get the word you use is snoozer, and I think that's the perfect word. If you want to get a field goal matchup for Thursday Night Football, I mean, keep in mind one of the TDs was on special teams. So, I mean, how many real scores did we see? Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. Yeah, so
not a lot of fireworks. Not a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, just not a lot of fireworks at all, man. So pretty much, man, we'll move forward on this one and we'll get to our next topic in hand. Shohei, I know you can talk about this, Mike. What are your thoughts on Shohei Ohtani, the sweepstakes? Who will he sign this record-breaking deal with? Who do you have as your leader in the clubhouse? Who needs him the most?
What's interesting is they say that the Dodgers are the favorites. I think the San Francisco Giants are going to land him. And I'll tell you why. Because the Giants went in pretty heavy on Aaron Judge, and they missed out. This year's Judge is Shohei Ohtani. Why would they go in on Judge last year and not go in on Ohtani this year? The Bay Area has a pretty big Asian community. So I see no reason why they wouldn't go in on Ohtani. And if they do, they've got the money to spend. They got rid of Gabe Kapler, which tells me that maybe he did or maybe he didn't fit into that plan with Shohei Ohtani. But I think the San Francisco Giants are going to make a real strong push for this guy. And I think they're going to land him, man. They know, look, if the Dodgers get him, the Giants will be irrelevant for another 5 years. You're not going to beat a team with Shohei Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts. You're just not. You're not going to win a division over a team that has Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts. Giants have to. They don't really have a choice. They got to get him or make sure that the Dodgers don't.
Well, they're saying now that Chicago has actually emerged as a power player in the situation. What do you think about the Chicago Cubs, and is there a fit there?
He doesn't want to be anywhere but the West Coast, was at least what he had said previously.
Right. But you know how it goes. You know how the rumor mill goes, Mike. You know how it goes.
I mean, here's the thing. People will be like, well, it depends on the money. No, he's going to get the money wherever he goes.
Right.
Any team that goes for him is going to be shelling out dough. So
right.
I think he stays on the West Coast, man. I think that's what he's looking to do, and I think that's what he'll accomplish. You got a lot of bidders, man.
Well,
from Seattle to San Diego, there's a lot of teams that could pursue.
Well, I would say that the Dodgers, they're the team that is the team you think of. But I really, truly do think that like you just said, every team in the state of California is except for the A's. Let's keep it real,
right?
Because
Right.
Otani's gonna make more money than 10 times the A's actual payroll. So yeah, we'll leave them out of it because what's their payroll going into next year? 19 million. And then have this idea that they can send these guys to Las Vegas and be bums. No. It does not work like that. You know what I mean? And then they said, well, they can get all those Vegas kids to come play for them. Why would a Vegas kid want to come play in Vegas? They grew up there. They know what that city's all about. They couldn't wait to get out of Las Vegas. What? You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, you look at this situation, you say to yourself, Otani, where should we go? And I think that Otani has to go to a big market, and he has to go to a team that's about winning. He can't go to a team where he's going to be the only star there. And I think that's what you kind of get with the Giants. I think the Giants is a waste for him. When he looks at the Giants, he looks at the Angels. And why would you want to just go play for the same damn team you just got done playing for? So, and I would say the Dodgers really do have the blank check, in all honesty, but I really would like to see the Angels really fight for him. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I think the Angels owe it to themselves to fight for Shotani. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, when you say why would he go to San Francisco, not just another Angels, I disagree. The Giants have 3 world titles in the last 12, 13 years, man.
Mike, let's live in today, bro. Come on, man. Let's stop talking about what happened 15 years ago.
But that matters. It matters to have a championship pedigree. You know what I mean? Like, would you rather play for the Yankees or the Brewers? You know what I mean? Like, one has history, the other one doesn't.
Right, but you've been selling those 3 titles for a while, and it's just like, when was the last time they were there? Yeah,
2016.
About 10 years ago. What was it? About 10 years
2016.
Ago. Yeah, dude, that's like me still being up in here. Yeah, man, the Bulls and those 3-peats in the 90s. Yeah, man.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's so far distance. No, this is like what? 8 seasons? 8. It's been like 8 seasons. That's not that
right,
bad.
but they're not.
I think within
go ahead.
I was going to say within a decade, you're allowed to boast a little bit about recency. Right. Beyond a decade, I think you're out the outer limits.
You're right, Mike.
So my rule is the decade.
Right, Mike. I just want to fuck with you real quick. That's all.
I already knew.
Because as a Dodger fan, we get tired of hearing that shit. Like, well, they got 3 of them, and the Dodgers were sitting up in there that whole time. When the Giants had 3 of them, the Dodgers probably had some of their worst seasons. Not their worst seasons ever, but they had in this 20-year stretch of being successful. Those were seasons that the Dodgers really did not really want to regret it. You know what I mean? One of them was the year they got rid of Russell Martin and everybody named Mama and still didn't do nothing to get to the playoffs. They actually finished 10 games below 500, I think, that year. You know what I'm talking about? That year they got
those are the Mattingly years, right?
Guys. Yeah, I think that was it. It was the last years of Ned Colletti. You know what I mean? But Ned Colletti is the one that did start the wave. You know what I mean? He started the wave. He just kept doing silly. He just kept making bad trades, in my opinion. When they got Friedman, things got really settled. You know what I mean? And then you went and got Dave Roberts, who was a Dodger. You went and kept getting guys who were Yankees. You know what I mean? Torrey Yankee, Madeline Yankee. And what the hell was Grady Little? Grady Little worked for you. He worked for the Red Sox. And he was known as the great, the great choker. You know what I mean? He's the guy that will make bad decisions at the worst possible time. So, Grady had to go, but Grady was very resourceful. Grady was very good to us as well, too. It just was that it was too big city for him. But, anything in the McCourt era was just pretty much it's like Thanos. You just, snap the finger and just forget it, man. Just disappear. You know what I mean? You don't want to talk about it because McCourt literally sabotaged that team to make sure he was still rich. You know what I mean? The Dodgers could have won 3 or 4 championships, but the guy just was up in there trying to be big Hollywood. That's all it was. But, you know.
By the way, I want to say something about Grady Little real fast. You know what him in, right? You know what did him in, right?
What?
Aaron flipping Boone.
Aaron
Boone, extra innings, Red Sox and
I was
Yankees.
watching.
Yeah, that was the game. So Wakefield came in, and the Red Sox were like this close to going to the World Series. And the extra inning game, it's all tense. And I think it was in the 13th inning, Aaron Boone hit a walk-off home run. And that was it, man. That did him in. And that's what led to the Red Sox getting Francona. Man, giving him a chance.
We sat there and watched that whole game, and we were like, man, this might be the night. It might be the night. And then the Red Sox go ahead, and Wakey goes in there, throws that knuckleball, and Aaron Boone probably that's the furthest ball he's ever hit in his life. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is. But let's move on.
The funny thing is that did in Grady Little, and that also probably got Boone the Yankees job because he was just so legendary because of that. So that had 2 managerial impacts on it, you know, on one hit.
Makes a little sense. All right. This is good for you, Mike, because I'm going to just let you take the floor on this one. Do the Red Sox and Yankees need to be big spenders this winter to take back the division? Your thoughts on that?
Okay, I'll start with the Yankees. They need to figure out what they're going to do with Stanton's contract. Are you going to pay that kind of money for a DH? For an injured DH in Stanton? You know what I mean? Like, that contract is old and not very good. You know what I mean? Like, would you want the Dodgers to inherit Stanton's contract? For a DH that's always banged up? Strikes out a shit ton of times?
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Would you really?
I'll take him. Come on, dude. I'm dealing with Max Muncy, bro.
Yeah, but Giancarlo,
Mike.
When's the last time Giancarlo had a full season?
I don't care. I need the box office, bro. I need the box office.
But he's not even that much of a box office right now. Like, he was an MVP. You're talking about like recency?
He loves.
How long ago was he an MVP? Days of the Giants.
Hey, hey, look. Last time he was the MVP was the year before Jeter took over the team. We don't even know what year that was anymore because the Marlins were wearing a different jersey at that time too. So it's like we don't even know what year it is anymore because they had just moved into the stadium that they play in now. Whatever year they moved into that stadium, Mike, is when that was relevant. But at the end of the day, I'll take Stanton.
Okay, that's you.
JD Martinez, bro.
Well, okay, look. JD Martinez isn't the power hitter that Stanton is, but he's a better overall hitter.
Hear me out real quick. Stanton delivers one thing, though. He delivers somebody that's a California local, and he was once a star, and they can sell that. And that guy's going to be able to put butts in the seats. Nobody, man, JD Martinez, ain't nobody going to be coming to the Dodger Stadium and be like, oh, man, I can't wait to see JD Martinez tonight. But if you got Stanton there with the idea, knowing what he can do, it'll be a good fit.
Okay, let me put it out to
I just don't want to
viewers. Hey man,
I just don't want to
winning teams.
He'll take Stanton. If we send him to the Red Sox, he'll take him.
No, thank you. Although that would be fun at Fenway Park, but no, thank you. I'll tell you what. Let's put it out there to the viewers, Pop.
All right. We can.
Viewers out there, hit Pop DiBiase or Mike Abadier on the Twitter. Let us know what you guys think. Would you want Stanton on your team, yay or nay? Who made a better case, Pop, or do you agree with me? He's always banged up, strikes out too much. He's all or nothing, and so far he's been more of a nothing than something with the Yankees. You know, look, when Judge and him are hitting back-to-back and they're both healthy, it's pretty dynamic. There's no doubt about that. It just doesn't happen very often that the two of them are on the field at the same time, right? So, anyways, but back to your question, Bob. The Yankees are going to have to contend with Garrett Cole's contract. What in terms of like re-signing him, his impending free agency. They just got Judge's new contract on the books. Which free agent out there would they spend big money on anyways, right? This big splash was supposed to be Carlos Rodon, wasn't it?
Well,
in addition to Judge, it was supposed to be Carlos Rodon. They got nothing out of him either.
Well,
at some point in time, you got to shed some of these bad contracts before you can take on new ones. Red Sox, on the other hand, they shed probably too much contract, right? In terms of Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts, two big contracts in 4-year period. Yes, they need to be a big spender this winter, Pop. Absolutely. If they don't, it would be a big disappointment. And I think they got rid of their general manager to bring in somebody who is going to be a big spender and not a frugal guy. So I'm going to say yes to the Red Sox. The Yankees, I don't know, man. They haven't made very good free agent pickups in a long time.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I don't know what to expect from I truly don't know what to expect from man. I truly don't know what to expect from what's going on with the Red Sox and everything this year, but we'll see exactly what they're all about when it really comes down to, what their pitching is going to be. And I think that's where their biggest investment needs to go, because that's where they really slacked, was in the pitching department, in my opinion. And that's what they have to attack. Their hitting is fine. It's that they need to go get some pitching. And that's a Mando thing to me, Mike. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go do it. This year is the year that you got to go get your pitchers. So, I just truly feel that this one, it can be a very, very good year for a team if they invest in the right things. But you're right, though, Mike. I think that when it comes down to it, both these teams know that they can't really miss this year when it comes to the winter meetings. Last year, they kind of didn't care, because I really feel like they had the Napoleon, the complex of, we run stuff here, you know what I mean? And the thing is, we run stuff in this division. So whatever happens in the division, it runs through us at the end of the day. And it just didn't work like that for this one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I see it as, is that, you just got a team that has to figure out exactly who they truly, truly want to be. You know what I mean? And I think this year alone, they really had it to where it was something that you say, we got to be better. And my bad, y'all. I'm trying to get y'all talking tickets and all that stuff right now, man. I got to start earlier, Mike. I'm getting real mad at myself about that. Like, you don't want to do things rushing, sir. But yeah, I do like the fact that your team is really trying to do it the smart way. And then I see another team in the Yankees really trying to figure out how are they going to be able to, shed this thing. Because let's keep it real. Steinbrenner's sons are not him. They are frugal. They are cheap. They might as well own the Minnesota Twins. That's how they are. They would be better with the Cleveland Guardians. You know what I mean? Because they can just live off the farm. And that's not the Yankees. The Yankees don't live off the farm. And I've noticed that the Yankees are getting excited about prospects. And it's just like, okay, this isn't the Yankees I know. Because if you don't have Derek Jeter, if you don't have Andy Pettitte, if you don't have the Mariano Rivera's, then you don't have a farm system. You just got a bunch of guys that you can move for veterans and assets. And that's what the Yankee thinking has to be. Their farm system has been paralyzed for a long time. And let's just keep it real. Let's not even sugarcoat the situation to act like they have a farm system that's really, really intact when it's not. So I think that
but look, the Yankees do have some. They do have some guys.
They do, but
they promoted Anthony Volpe. They promoted Anthony Volpe. He was just awarded a Gold Glove. So he's the first Yankee shortstop in history to get a Gold Glove. His hitting was, his batting average was
the first rookie.
He had some home runs. Get Gold Glove.
Yeah, for a Gold Glove
for the Yankees. Yeah,
because I'm about to say, Jeter got 6 of them.
Yeah, but he wasn't a rookie.
Hell no, Jeter wasn't a rookie, but yeah.
I mean, look, it's to come out right out of the gate to get a Gold Glove when there's a lot of good shortstops in American League. That's pretty impressive, right? So he played a good shortstop. He's got some pop, he's got some speed, but the point I'm making is they also have Jason Dominguez waiting in the wings, and Everson Pereira. Austin Wells. I could keep going on. They've got some decent prospects.
So they got guys that can bring up. So they got guys that are going to be looking real good on the Marlins next season, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what. They have the best prospects since Gary Sanchez. They have the best prospects since Gary Sanchez and Aaron Judge came up in 2016.
Okay.
So take that for what it's worth.
Gary Sanchez got cut recently.
Yeah, he had a good
but that's not because but that's not because of him. That's just because it is what it is at the end of the day in that situation. You're right.
It kind of is because of him. It kind of is because of him because in a sense the Yankees ended up having a lineup that was all the same dude. Lots of home runs, lots of strikeouts, not very fast. You can't have a lineup that's like that. You can't have a whole lineup 1 through 9 that's a 25 home run hitter with tons of strikeouts. It just doesn't work.
Agreed. You're right. You got guys that are just really not. Sometimes it just happens. Cody Bellinger was great until he wasn't great. You know what I mean? Right. And now, Cody goes off. He does well in Chicago. Now you see all these goofy Dodger fans bring Cody back. But you guys literally kicked the guy out. So make your mind up. Do you want Cody back or what do you want to do here? Because you guys said Cody wasn't good. Now you want Cody back. And the thing is, if you exuded just a little bit of patience, we probably would be in a better situation right now. You know what I mean? If you just were just a bit patient, Mike. You know what I mean? As I like,
he stunk up the joint for kind of a while, but his defense alone was huge.
Yeah.
He was a great outfielder at Dodger Stadium.
Cody was a great player, man. I don't care what anybody says, man. He was a great player. He did good things. He did great things for the team. He did a lot of stuff. He was a real, he was a real person who could sell, put butts in the seats somewhat, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. But you know what? You got to move on from these things, and people can't sit there and live off the fact that, their favorite player got cut or got, sent off the team because you know what? Let me give you a great example. And, this isn't even a topic, but, great example. This was heartbreaking to me as a young teenager, you know what I mean? High school student, you know what I mean? Lakers, it was 98, 99 year, the year where they had the short season because the lockout and all that stuff. And, the Lakers got off to a really bad start that year. Mm-hmm. They got off to a terrible start. And then they won 10 games in a row. And what they did was something that I thought was always just, why did they do that? They traded Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. And this is how really Laker fan I am, Mike, because this is why I say I always challenge people. Are you really a Laker fan? because I'm saying I was really a Laker fan because I had to sit through a young Eddie, a young Nick, Eldon Campbell, Divock, Sadell 3, Terry Teagle, and these guys were absolute dog shit. Okay.
How about Cedric Sabalos?
Okay, no, I didn't bring up Cedric because we started winning when Cedric got here.
Fair enough.
Cedric brought back the winning, and Cedric actually parlayed us to Shaq and Kobe. So he's not a part of that group because he came to help the winning. Okay. So when I look at that situation, I said to myself, we got to fit. The whole point of bringing Shaq was to have him with the boys, with the fellas, with them two. And then you got this Kobe Bryant kid. Like, oh, well, Kobe's just a kid. Man, get him out. He's just a kid. That's how the thinking was it not, Mike? He's just a kid.
Right.
They just over here trying to put butts in the seats. They ain't worried about that kid over there. That's where we were at that point in the NBA. You didn't trust no 18-year-old with your team. You just didn't. And the thing is, we weren't worried about Kobe, but Kobe was so damn good. And we didn't know this. You weren't Jerry West didn't want to tell the world how great Kobe was. He just kept saying he's a really good player. And everybody's, yeah, whatever. Whatever. And we make this trade for Glenn Rice, who's an all-star, who's a big-time all-star compared to those two. This is a monster trade for the Lakers. But you know how upset I was? I did not want any parts of Glenn Rice. But when it came down to the long term of the situation, it's nothing but 2 years later, or a year later, or 5 years later, you look up, we got 3 championships. Sometimes you got to make these deals and get rid of your favorites so you can get to the real end goal. And that's why I always put franchise first, brother. That's why I always do. I don't fall in love with players on my team. It's always about the team. Right. When it was time for Kobe to go, Kobe needs to go. I'm at the point now with Clayton Kershaw, it's time to go. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
that's where I'm at.
He's still dealing, though. He's still dealing.
He's not coming back till midsummer. And if anything, we'll probably have to put him in the what you call it. Dude, Mike is chugging that Diet Coke, dog. Yeah. What's in that Diet Coke, bro? What's in that Diet Coke, Mike? All right, so real quick, why don't we talk about this? And breaking news, actually, what happened right now. Jim Harbaugh has been...
The decision came down?
The rest of the season. He's not back into the ball game. Yes, the final 3 games of the season. I said they do this as they're on the plane headed to Happy Valley, dog. That's scandalous. And then they just had a email come out that said that Michigan might be talking to the SEC. How the hell are you talking to the SEC? SEC's not even in your region. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
You know what I mean? That's pure. I know that's pure fiction. Seriously. Because Michigan will go be an independent before they go to the SEC. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? No, that's not happening. So pretty much, let's talk about the game though. What are you doing here, Mike? What do you feel? Is there now since Harbaugh is out? Do you feel like there can be an upset here, or do you think that they can just go ahead and play without their coach?
Oh, I think this is like total turmoil, distraction extraordinaire. I would take Penn State all the way, man. Based on the news that you just shared, that is a lot for 18 to 22-year-olds to handle, man.
You think they're crying in the locker room?
You think it's a shakeup, man? It's a shakeup, and they're trying to figure out, how this is going to work out. And think about it this way, Pop. You were recruited by Jim Harbaugh. Now his situation is in the air. You're worried about your future with Michigan. They bring in another coaching staff. They may Deion Sanders you. And if they Deion Sanders you,
how would they bring in
your future is with that?
I'm talking about right now.
No. But my point is that's what's on the players' minds.
Okay, so
the players are stressed out about what's going to happen to them.
I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
What's that? No, what I'm saying is if you're a player right now, you're sitting there stressed out about the future. You don't know if you're going to be a part of this program in the future or not, right? You don't know what the ripple effect is. If Harbaugh gets terminated or if he quits and they bring in a new coaching staff, those players are going to be off the team, and they know that. And so these guys are stressed out. They're not thinking about Penn State game anymore. They're thinking about the next 4 years. Absolutely huge distraction. Penn State, without a doubt, wins this game. No doubt in my mind.
I would say, Mike, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I feel where you're coming from, but in reality, though, these guys have been playing at a high level all season, and they know who's watching, brother. They know who's watching, and they know who's watching.
These aren't pros.
Yeah, but there's guys that are about to be pros, and they want to still look good on film. Because I know what Coach told him. Coach said, don't worry about me. You go worry about winning this game. That's what you go worry about. Because they have their offensive coaches. They have their defensive coaches. These people that baby these guys 24/7. So I think that they should be fine in this one if they stick to their plan. If they have a plan in place and they steal enough signals, they'll be fine. But the game that really irks me out for them is the game before the Ohio State game. And I already had that in the back of my mind that was going to be a tough game for them because Penn State is probably a game that they're already reared up for. But this game right before Ohio State is the one that you always have to look out for. But we'll see, though, Mike. I know that this was pretty critical right here. This was pretty bad. But man, this just goes to show you that these coaches need to be more responsible when it comes to putting together these programs. And I truly do feel that what they're doing with Harbaugh is they're trying to teach a lesson to a coach that's 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You know what I mean? And I think they're really trying their hardest to get Harbaugh back to the NFL because they don't like that game that he plays with. I might be going over here to the Vikings. Oh, every time an NFL opening comes up, Harbaugh's name comes up. Let me keep it real with you. Brandon Jacobs already said that Harbaugh wasn't that great of a coach, that they had great coordinators, great personnel, great people that worked with that San Francisco staff. And let's keep it real. It was a great job by their general manager, Trent Baalke, as well, too, who drafted some of the best players that you could possibly get. Patrick Willis is a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. You were able to get Randy Moss off the waiver wire. He was old, but you were still able to get Randy Moss. And they had a guy that retired very early in his career, but he was an absolute monster. His name slips my mind right now, but he went to Wisconsin. And that dude was the heart and soul of that 3-4 defense with Patrick Willis. This was a special situation with that team. That was a special group. But you're not going to come back to the NFL and be able to rekindle that, in my opinion. It's been too long. The NFL has grown from that point in the NFL. You can't even play like that anymore the way that Harbaugh used to play. So, I think that they just do this because they're just really trying to push him back to the NFL. And if he was to go coach in the NFL, would you be okay with them coaching the Raiders?
Yes. 100%. I didn't even 100%. Have to wait until you answered that question. Until you asked that question, I had yes already in mind. Dude, he's won everywhere he's gone. He was a part of the Raiders organization before. Whether it's San Diego, he won. Stanford, he won. 49ers, he won. Michigan, he's winning. The guy's a winning coach. He knows what to do. And you were talking about the coaching staff. Well, who put together that coaching staff? Right? So Harbaugh's the guy, man. Absolutely. If the Raiders have any chance to have a winning tradition again in the next 5 years, they got to bring in somebody with cred like Harbaugh. You can't take chances on people like McDaniels. You can't take a chance and bring somebody from the booth after 10 years away from the game like Gruden. You need to bring somebody in like Harbaugh who's got the Raiders way in his veins. And I'll leave it at that because I gotta I gotta cut out shortly here, but I want to hear about your pick six primetime home run hitting ticket if we got time for it.
Yeah, man, Mike always making my shit sound like it's some bootleg stuff. He's just like, yeah, whatever. The NFL stuff with Jeff when we was on the show yesterday. It's called NFL Bet Exchange, damn it. But
I
yeah,
want to see a home run here.
I got you. And since Mike,
this is the PrimeTime Angles, is it not?
Yes, it is. I had more show, but let's go ahead. Mike needs to see exactly what I'm on. Talking Tickets is early, and you know what? We having a lot of in today. You know what, man? I just it was one of those days, Mike. I was trying to get everything together, and everything just kept falling apart. You know what I mean? So my mood is kind of like whatever. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Talking Tickets. I'll have a fresh mind, a fresh everything for you guys come Monday. Okay, so up first, we got the CBB PrimeTime PK6, Mike's. It's 77-1, 15.5 to Xavier, Penn money line plus 225. We got Duke minus 5.5. We also got the plus 21.5 with Boston University. And then we also have Georgia money line minus 125. Then we have the plus 10 on UCF. And then we have ourselves the North Texas SMU bets plus 20 with North Texas. And then we have the under 34.5 minus 115 first half. And then we also have SMU 6.5 first quarter. And then we have North Texas over 23.5 team total 105. Then we get to Wyoming UNLV bets. We have UNLV minus 150. We also have the over 24.5 minus 115 first half. Then we have Wyoming plus 115 first quarter. And then UNLV plus 125 adjusted line on the 4.5. And you know what, Mike? Believe it or not, UNLV is playing out of their minds this year. They lost one game, and I saw that game, and that game was against Michigan. They got this Malavia kid. I guess he's one of Rock's baby cousins. Dude is good. At quarterback, he's really, really good. So we'll have to watch out. UNLV is bowl eligible this year. It looks like they're going to be going to a real bowl, and they could possibly, well, no, they won't be able to play in their own bowl because the Vegas Bowl doesn't cater to their conference anymore. The Vegas Bowl is a big boy bowl now, Mike. They actually host either the SEC, Pac-10, or the Big Ten now for that game. Okay.
I want to just amend one thing that you said. UNLV did lose to Michigan. You're right, but they also lost to Fresno State. So
my bad. They lost to the baddest boys in the Mountain West. My bad, Fresno State. Yeah,
I have to give my Central California guys a little bit of love there. You know what I mean?
Mike did not go there, but yeah, okay. Mike went to a smart school up north. He did not go to Fresno State. Fresno State is just above a community college. But they do got some fine women that go there, Mike. I will say that. They got some of the finest women that went there when I was in college. Boy, I'm telling you, that volleyball team.
Farmers' daughters, man.
Yep, farmers' daughters and drug dealers' daughters too. Crank dealer. You know, these girls daddy is the leader of Sons of Anarchy and shit that are in Fresno. So
right.
NBA Mike knows. Mike, you can tell Mike done had himself some gangster girls. Gangster. I love you, Mikey.
Oh, I love them too, brother.
Yeah, Mikey used to play like he was from the set. So, you know, it is what it is. Plus 12 Nets, over 224.5 Wolves Spurs, Jazz money line plus 165, under 236.5 Clippers Mavs, and then the Thunder money line minus 130. So, yeah.
Very good, man.
Yep, that's what it is right there.
I like what you said. I like everything you said. In the first screen, you had Penn. Folks, add the ST period. Penn State. That's my lock of the weekend. They will take down Michigan.
He just want to be selling off the drama. That's all it is. Watch them lose by 10. But you guys already know next week, Thursday, you guys catch me and Mike at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Voice America, the Mike Abadir Show. You guys can call in. You guys can actually chat it up with us on the Twitter as well, too. So you guys make sure to tune into that next week. And if you do want to call, please call in. I'm going to leave the phone number on the tweet when we promote the show next week. So you guys can call us, and then we can go from there and see what we can do with answering your questions and things like that. Or maybe you guys can call and cuss us out. Maybe one or the other, whatever you guys want to do. You know what I mean? You guys can be like, that's a bad sports take, Pop DiBiase. I can't stand you. All right, so we're out of here.
All right, my friend. The time always goes too fast, man. But thank you for having me on, and thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, so Mike, you have a good one, man. We will let you go. Enjoy your weekend. You're the best. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, my brother.
All right, my man. And so with that, that will be a wrap on the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And man, as you guys always know, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I'll be back to you on Monday with the full show. So there it is, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.